Hi, my name is Lauren Lockett, and I am going to be doing a rebuttal to Nolan's video about Debate 5, where he took the standpoint that states should not be intervening in Myanmar, and I took the standpoint that states should be intervening in Myanmar to stop this mass genocide and bring back a democracy, or at least attempt to bring back some sort of democracy to the country, since they are breaking a good amount of international laws. First, I would like to state, I love the beginning of your video. Very funny. Love the positivity in this whole online school situation. But also, after that, I would like to actually get into the argument. I do want to say that Nolan did bring up a good amount of valid points about why he thinks that the states should not be intervening in Myanmar. However, I think there are some things that do outweigh those points. But just to kind of talk about what he brought up, he did say that there are only a couple things that the international community can do for Myanmar in this kind of situation. One of those would be with sanctions, and he does explain that sanctions have been in place in Myanmar in years prior, and those have not succeeded. And he also talks about how using force against force can be bad. With the force argument, he also explains how things can escalate, other countries can be brought in that probably shouldn't be a part of it, war can start. All of those are pretty valid points. Those are definite possibilities in this kind of situation. However, I think this is gonna sound like poetic or something, but I think that you're thinking, or he was thinking of it in a sense of, you can't fight fire with fire. Obviously, we all know you can't fight fire with fire. However, you can use a controlled fire to get rid of the bad. Firefighters do it all the time. They make controlled fires in the middle of the forest, or in the middle of a grass field, which seems scary because fire, why would you start a fire intentionally? But they're doing it for a good purpose. And that sounds really metaphorical, whatever, but I really think that's a good way to think about using force in this kind of situation, because sometimes you do need to take those kinds of risks, or the international community needs to take those kinds of risks, because this kind of fire it's looking right now like it's only going to continue to escalate. And so yeah. And another little thing that he brought up is that why would we intervene with a democracy that was already kind of failing to begin with, which is valid. However, I do think that Myanmar was taking steps to really become a strong democracy, with the leader Aung San Suu Kyi. I butcher her name 100%. However, I think she was making some really good steps to creating a better democracy for the country, and obviously that all got blown out of the way when the military started the coup against her, because they posted all this propaganda about how she had been a part of election fraud, blah blah blah. And I think that created a lot of bad that wasn't really even necessary in the situation. So I think that the risks of intervening completely outweigh not intervening, because right now Myanmar is going south. They are doing a lot of illegal things against people. They're killing people. They're killing innocent children. They're raping women. They're doing what they call ethnic cleansing against the Rohingya Muslims, which is awful, and they're making them so scared that they're fleeing to Bangladesh. Over 800,000 people have fled to Bangladesh, or Rohingya Muslims have fled. And I think that is just unacceptable. It's completely against international law. And because of that, I think the international community has a obligation to intervene in this situation. There is a mass genocide that is occurring in Myanmar, and it needs to be put to a stop. Obviously, the military has said that they're only going to be in power for a year, but a lot of damage can be done in that year, and it doesn't seem like they're doing anything to turn around what they're already doing. They're taking so many steps backwards for finding a democracy. They were heading in the right direction, and now with the military having the coup against her, Aung San Suu Kyi, they are taking so many steps backwards, and they're going completely away from a democracy. And I think it's just, at this point, it would be very almost irresponsible of the international community to not be intervening with Myanmar. But I did really enjoy listening to somebody else's outlook, because it was interesting to hear the other side, because I know a lot of people did choose the side that states should be intervening. So it was very interesting to hear Nolan's outlook. But I do think that states, the international community, 100% should be intervening in Myanmar. Thank you so much.